daily cycle. The rhythm of time in Lurianic Kabbalah. In the teachings of our master Rabbi Isaac Luria, the Ari of Seift, time is not a neutral flow, but the unfolding garment of the Shekinah, the living field within which the soul ascends, repairs, and unites with its source. Every moment of the day, from the lament of midnight until the last breath before sleep, has its tikkun, its rectification. Prayer is not recitation alone, but the elevation of sparks from broken vessels scattered through creation. Torah study is not intellectual labor alone, but the channel through which the divine light descends. Even the smallest act, eating, giving a coin of charity, speaking a word of kindness, is either a binding, yichud, of the upper worlds or, if done without holiness, a concealment. The Ari taught that each day of the week corresponds to one of the 7 lower Sephirit. Sunday to Chizd, Monday to Yetzirah, Tuesday to Tiferet, Wednesday to Netzach, Thursday to Had, Friday to Yesod, and Shabbat to Malkut. In this way, the entire week becomes a ladder of ascent, each day a step, each prayer a rung, each moment a light. The rhythm of prayer follows the structure of the 4 worlds. In Pasuki di Zimra, the verses of praise at the beginning of Shacharit, we elevate the realm of Assiyah, the world of action, purifying the body and its deeds. In the Shema and its blessings, we elevate the realm of Yetzirah, the world of formation, purifying speech, imagination, and angelic hosts. In the Amida, we rise to Beriah, the world of creation, where the souls of the righteous and the throne of glory dwell. In the Kedusha and the silent depths of the Amida, we may glimpse Atzilut, the world of emanation, where all distinctions dissolve into the pure union of the infinite and his Shekinah. Every prayer is accompanied by kavvanot, intentions that unify divine names. The Ari taught that the central unification is the union of YHVH, which corresponds to Tiferet, and Adonai, which corresponds to Malkut. When these names are joined, the masculine and feminine, the Holy One and his Shekinah unite, and blessing flows into all the worlds. This union is often expressed through the formula which the Ari revealed as the secret of the Zohar's unification of the holy name. The day begins with Tikkun Chatzit, the lament at midnight, in which the Shekinah's exile is wept for and her return prayed for. It proceeds through mikveh immersion, morning prayers, study, midday charity, afternoon prayers, evening meditation, and nighttime Shema. Each moment is not only for the individual soul but for the rectification of all Israel, all worlds, all creation. Thus the week unfolds, and we begin with Sunday, the day of Chizd, the right hand of God, the love of Abraham, the overflowing spring of kindness that sustains the cosmos. Sunday, the day of Chizd, midnight, 12 a.m. Tikkun Chatzit. The Kabbalist rises at midnight when the Shekinah weeps in exile. The lament is divided into 2 parts. Tikkun Rachel, weeping for the destruction, and Tikkun Leah, meditating on the higher world. On Sunday, the focus is on Tikkun Rachel, asking that Chizd sweeten the judgments of exile. The kavvanot, as the lament is recited, unify the name YHVH, 26, with the name Assiyah, 21, producing 47, and meditate on mercy flowing downward. Visualize the Shekinah clothed in white garments, standing in exile, and your tears as the dew that washes her garments and prepares her reunion. Dawn, 4:30 a.m. Mikveh immersion. Before the light of day, the Kabbalist immerses in the mikveh. Each immersion is accompanied by the intention of purifying the 4 worlds. The first immersion for Assiyah, the second for Yetzirah, the third for Beriah, and the 4th for Atzilut. On Sunday, the focus is Chizd. Visualize the right arm of the divine form stretching outward in love, clothing the world in mercy. Shacharit, 5 to 6:30 a.m. The morning prayer. Pasuki di Zimra. As the verses of praise are recited, intend to elevate the sparks trapped in Assiyah. The Baruch Shi, Amar prayers recited with the unification of YHVH and Adonai. During Ashri, focus on the verse Podia et Yedeka, you open your hand, visualizing the right hand of Chizd pouring sustenance into all worlds. Shema and blessings. The Shema is recited with full concentration. On Sunday, the kavvanah is to harmonize Chizd in the upper worlds with Chizd in the heart of the worshipper. As you say V'ahavta, and you shall love, focus on expanding love to the Infinite One and to all creation. Amida, stand silently, In the first blessing, unify the 4 letters of YHVH in their milu, filling of cheesed, plus 15.
היי פלוס, 20, י' 62, 15, היי פלוס, 12 ו'.
This corresponds to the love of Abraham. Visualize white light enveloping you, filling your soul and extending to the Shekinah. Morning study, 6:30, 7:30 a.m. After prayer, study Mishnah, particularly tractates P and Bikurim, which concern charity and offerings. Each word of Mishnah releases sparks. The Ari taught that Mishnah
משנה,
is numerically equal to Shekinah.
שכינה.
When the letters are permuted, to study Mishnah with intention is to restore Shekinah. Meal 7:30 a.m. Before eating, wash hands with the kavvanot of separating the holy from the profane. Recite blessings over bread and food with attention, unifying YHVH and Adonai in each blessing. Eating is not mere consumption but the elevation of sparks from the vegetal and animal realms. On Sunday, the intention is to spread kindness into all nourishment. Midday, 12:30 p.m., Mincha and charity before Mincha, give tzedakah. Each coin unifies the Shekinah with her source, for charity is called peace in the Zohar. Intend that your act draws cheese into the world, sweetening judgments. In Mincha, repeat the unification of YHVH and Adonai. During Ashri, again meditate on Podia et Yedekah. In the Amida, the kavvanot is the union of Zir Anpin, YHVH, with Malkut, Adonai, clothed in white garments of cheesed. Afternoon study -3:06 p.m. Study the Zohar, particularly passages on Abraham in Parashat Lech-Lecha. Contemplate Abraham as the chariot of cheesed and intend to attach your soul to his root. As you read, meditate on the name El,
על,
the name of cheesed, repeating it gently until your heart expands. Evening, 6 p.m. Mariv. As night descends, pray Mariv with the intention of gathering all sparks released during the day. In the Shema, intend to bind love, Ahava, 13 and 1, Ed, 13, into 26, the value of YHVH. Night meditation, 9 p.m. In private meditation, visualize light streaming from your right arm, extending outward until it embraces the world. Recite verses of loving kindness, such as Alam Cheesed Yibaneh, the world is built on kindness. Before sleep, 10:30 p.m. Shema al-Hamidah. Recite the bedtime Shema with the kavvanot of returning your soul to God in purity. Meditate on the name Shaddai,
שדי,
which guards the bed, and on the angels Michael, cheesed, at your right, Gabriel, Yetzirah, at your left, Uriel, to ferret before you, and Raphael Netzach Had, behind you. Thus the day of cheese concludes, the right arm extended, the world clothed in mercy, the Shekinah comforted by your prayer, and the sparks elevated by your deeds. Monday, the day of Yetzirah. Midnight, 12 a.m. Tikkun Chatzit. On Monday, the Kabbalist awakens at midnight with trembling, for this is the night of Yetzirah. The focus is on Tikkun Rachel, weeping for the Shekinah still in exile. Tears are sharper, flowing like fiery sparks. As the lament is recited, intend to sweeten judgment, dinim, with compassion. The kavvanot, unify the name Elohim,
אלוהים,
which is the name of Yetzirah, with the name YHVH. Visualize the 5 letters of Elohim, 86, merging into the 4 letters of YHVH, 26, producing 112, which equals the word Yabasha, dry land, the world of concealment. Intend to water this dry land with mercy. Dawn, 4:30 a.m. Mikveh immersion. The immersions are done with trembling. Intend to temper the harsh waters of judgment by immersing in the soft waters of compassion. Visualize red flames cooling into white light. On this day, see yourself as Isaac bound on the altar, surrendering self-will, sweetening severity through self-offering. Shacharit, 5 to 6:30 a.m. Morning prayer. Pasuki di Zimra. As the verses rise, intend to elevate sparks bound in Yetzirah. In Baruch Shi, Amar meditate on the unification of YHVH and Elohim, binding mercy and judgment together. When reciting Hallelujah, visualize the letters breaking the shells, Kalipit, that hide divine light. Shema and blessings. During the Shema, focus on the awe of heaven. As you recite Ve'heu hadevrim ha'eleh, these words shall be upon your heart. Intend to engrave the fiery letters on your inner tablets. The Ari taught that Yetzirah corresponds to the left ventricle of the heart, fiery, passionate, restrained. Meditate on binding this fire to love so it becomes holy zeal. Amida. In the first blessing, unify YHVH in the milu of Yetzirah. +6.
ה פלוס 20, י' 39, 6, ה פלוס 7.
Meditate that this corresponds to Tal, dew, which descends to cool the fire of judgment. Visualize a dew of compassion descending upon the Shekinah. Morning study, 6:30, 7:30 a.m. Study Mishnah Sanhedrin, which deals with law and judgment. Intend to elevate the sparks hidden in the discipline of justice. The Ari taught that when one studies laws of judgment, one must balance them with mercy, so as not to give excess strength to the side of severity. Meal, 7:30 a.m. Before eating, focus on Yetzirah as separation, distinguishing pure from impure, holy from mundane. When blessing, intend that the act of separation is elevated to holiness. The Ari taught that the name Elohim appears in the act of Beriah, of making distinctions. Midday, 12:30 p.m. Mincha and charity before Mincha. Give tzedakah with trembling. Intend that the act sweetens the judgments of the day. The Ari emphasized that giving charity on Monday is especially potent, for Yetzirah is prone to severity and requires balancing. In Mincha, as you recite the Amida, meditate on binding Yetzirah to chesed. Visualize the left arm of God clothed in white, the fire sweetened by water, red transformed into rose. Afternoon study, 300 hours 6 p.m. Study Zohar on Isaac and the binding Akedah. Intend to connect to the mystery of self-sacrifice, not through destruction, but through offering your ego, will, and desire. As you study, recite quietly the name Elohim Jibber, God of strength, and meditate on its letters forming a shield around the Shekinah. Evening, 6 p.m. Mariv. In Mariv, the Shekinah begins to descend into concealment. On Monday night, the concealment is stronger. Intend to guard her with the shield of awe. In the Shema, meditate on uniting love and fear, so that your soul is balanced like the wings of a bird. Night meditation, 9 p.m. Sit in silence. Visualize your left arm glowing with red fire. See this fire as the judgments within you: anger, desire, strictness. Intend to lift them upward, sweeten them, and transform them into holy passion. Whisper the verse El Nora Alala, God, awesome in deeds, and feel your awes a bridge to compassion. Before sleep, 10:30 p.m. Shema Al-Hamidah. Recite the bedtime Shema with the kavvanot of surrendering your soul into the hands of Elohim. Intend that as you lie down, your judgments are dissolved into the mercy of the infinite. Visualize the 4 letters of YHVH descending upon your bed as a canopy of light, protecting you from harsh forces. Place Michael to your right, chesed, Gabriel to your left, Yetzirah, Uriel before you, Tiferet, Raphael behind you, Hod Netzach, and Shekinah above your head. Thus concludes Monday, the day of Yetzirah. The fire is kindled but sweetened, judgment is awakened but clothed in compassion, and the left hand of God joins the right, forming balance in the chariot of the worlds. Tuesday, the day of Tiferet. Midnight, 12 a.m. Tikkun Chatzit. On Tuesday, the soul awakens at midnight with longing, for Tiferet is the harmony of the upper worlds. As the Tikkun Chatzit is recited, the focus is on Tikkun Leah, meditating on the Shekinah in her higher aspect. The kavvanot, unify the name YHVH, 26, with Ehi, 21, together, 47, then raise this into the name Ehi Asher Ehi,
Eye, Asher, Eye,
which equals 0.543. This name corresponds to Jacob's ladder, bridging worlds. Intend to ascend the ladder of harmony, lifting Rachel and Leah, Malkut, and Bina into union. Dawn, 4:30 a.m. Mikveh immersion. The immersions are for balance. Visualize the waters as the Torah itself, the Mayim Chaim, living waters, cleansing body and soul. On Tuesday, the focus is Tiferet, the torso, the trunk of the tree. Visualize yourself as the trunk connecting roots and branches, Bina above and Malkut below, drawing sustenance through balance. Shacharit, 5 to 6:30 a.m. Morning prayer. Pasuki di Zimra. As the verses are recited, intend to raise the praises upward like threads woven into a tapestry. In Baruch Shi, Amar, meditate on Tiferet as the body of the divine form. Visualize the words as weaving the harmony of the Sephirot. Shema and blessings. In the Shema, meditate on the middle pillar. Here, O Israel, intend that Israel, Tiferet, unites with Shekinah, Malkut. As you say Ed 1, prolong the Dalet, intending to stretch divine unity into the four directions of the world. Amida. In the first blessing, unify YHVH in the milu of Tiferet. Plus 10.
ה פלוס 20, י' 52, 10, ה פלוס 12, ו'.
The name band associated with Malkut. Meditate that Tiferet pours harmony into Malkut, raising the sparks of creation. Visualize a radiance of blended colors, white, red, green, merging into a golden light of beauty. Morning study, 6:30, 7:30 a.m. Study Torah with commentary, for Torah is Tiferet itself. The Ari taught that Jacob is called the man of tents because Torah dwells in his tent. Choose a passage from the weekly parasha and intend that each word is a garment of the Shekinah. As you study, whisper the name YHVH Elohei Yisrael, YHVH, God of Israel, uniting mercy and judgment in harmony. Meal, 7:30 a.m. Eating becomes an act of Torah. Bless with full intention, unifying YHVH and Adonai. On Tuesday, the focus is on balance. Do not overindulge. Do not abstain entirely. Each bite is an act of harmony, raising sparks without falling into excess or neglect. Midday, 12:30 p.m. Mincha and charity before Mincha. Give tzedakah, but do so with discernment. Intend that your act of giving is not random but balanced, guided by wisdom and compassion. In Mincha, recite the Amida with the kavvanot of Jacob uniting with Rachel. Visualize the 6 Sephirot of Zer Anpin, cheese through Yesod, shining into Malkut. In Asheri, when reciting Podia at Yedekah, see the divine hand feeding the world in perfect proportion. Afternoon study, 300 hours, 6 p.m. Study Zohar on Jacob, particularly in Parashat Vayetz. Meditate on Jacob's dream, the ladder rooted on earth, its top reaching heaven, angels ascending and descending. Visualize yourself as that ladder, rooted in body, reaching in soul, a bridge of balance. Whisper the name Racham Vechanan.
V'chanun, Rachum.
Compassionate and gracious as you study. Evening, 6 p.m. Mariv. As night descends, intend to harmonize the day's light with the night's concealment. In the Shema, meditate on the harmony of love and awe, binding day and night into one. When reciting V'hayim Shamoah, and it shall be if you listen, intend that listening is the balance of receiving and responding, heaven and earth. Night meditation, 9 p.m. Sit in stillness. Visualize Tiferet as the heart of the tree, glowing in golden light. See its 6 directions extending outward: right, cheesed; left, Yetzirah; front, Netzach; back, Hod; above, Tiferet's crown; below, Yesod into Malkut. Whisper Etz Aim High, it is a tree of life, and feel yourself as that tree. Before sleep, 10:30 p.m. Shema al-Hamidah. Recite the bedtime Shema with the kavvanot of uniting soul and body, heaven and earth in balance. Visualize the 4 letters of YHVH shining in blended colors. Yod is white, cheesed; Hes red, Yetzirah; Vav is green, Tiferet; Hes black, Malkut. As you surrender your soul, intend to rest in the harmony of Jacob's tent. Thus concludes Tuesday, the day of Tiferet. The heart of the world beats in balance, the Torah shines as beauty, and the middle pillar supports heaven and earth. Wednesday, the day of Netzach, midnight, 12 a.m. Tikkun Chatzit. On Wednesday, Netzach awakens within the soul as a longing for eternal continuity. During Tikkun Chatzit, recite the Lamentations with the kavvanot that the Shekinah, though hidden, endures forever. She is Rachel weeping for her children, yet her tears become rivers that will one day water the desert of exile. The kavvanot unify the name YHVH with the name Ehi, raising them into the form of YHVH Ehi. Visualize these names standing like pillars of fire and water, supporting the endurance of Israel through exile. Meditate that Netzach, the right leg, pushes history forward toward redemption. Dawn, 4:30 a.m. Mikveh immersion. Immerse with the intention of cleansing the obstacles that hinder endurance. Visualize your right leg stepping into the waters of eternity, like Israel stepping into the Jordan River. Intend that each immersion plants your soul firmly on the path of victory, ensuring that you do not stumble. Shacharit, 5 to 6:30 a.m. Morning prayer. Pasuki di Zimra. As you recite the praises, visualize them as banners raised in battle. Netzach is the right leg, the march of the divine army. In Baruch Shi, Amar meditate on why HVH is the one who spoke, and the world came to be, his word enduring through all generations. Shema and blessings. In the Shema, focus on the eternal faith of Israel. As you say Vita Barta Bam, you shall speak of them. Intend that Torah is transmitted from parent to child, generation after generation, never ending. Visualize Netzach as the channel through which the light of Tiferet flows into the future. Amida. In the first blessing, meditate on YHVH in the milu of Netzach. +6.
ה פלוס 20, י' 45, 6, ה פלוס 13, ו'.
The name Ma, associated with humanity and humility. Intend that your endurance is not your own, but the humility of Moses, who bore the Torah. Visualize green light, the color of Netzach, spreading outward like an eternal horizon. Morning study, 6:30, 7:30 a.m. Study passages of Torah that speak of Moses, especially the giving of the Torah at Sinai. The Ari taught that Netzach is Moses himself, for he endured 40 years in the wilderness, bearing the burden of the people. Intend that your study attaches you to the eternal chain of transmission, Moses to Joshua, prophets to sages, until this very day. Meal, 7:30 a.m. When eating, intend that nourishment endures within you, strengthening body and soul for service. Bless with the unification of YHVH and Adonai, visualizing the sparks rising as banners of light. On Wednesday, the act of eating becomes an act of preparation for the long journey, endurance in body as well as soul. Midday, 12:30 p.m. Mincha and charity. Before Mincha, give tzedakah with the intention that kindness endures. Meditate that charity plants seeds of light in the soil of time, seeds that will bloom even in future generations. In Mincha, visualize Moses standing before God, interceding for Israel after the sin of the golden calf. In the Amida, unify YHVH with Adonai, intending that mercy endures despite sin, that Israel's covenant is eternal. Afternoon study, -0, 6 p.m. Study Zohar passages on Moses, especially in Parashat Shemet and Vera. As you read, meditate on the verse Lo Yamash Sefer HaTorah Hazeh Mepikha. This Torah shall not depart from your mouth. Whisper the name Netzach Silavad.
סלה, נצח ועד.
Eternity, forever and ever. Visualize the words forming a crown of endurance around the Shekinah. Evening, 6 p.m. Mariv. As the sun sets, meditate on the endurance of light within darkness. In the Shema, visualize day and night joining as one, eternal cycles that never break. As you recite Veheya im Shamoa, intend that obedience to Torah ensures the endurance of blessing across generations. Night meditation 9 p.m. Sit in silence. Visualize Netzach as your right leg, strong and steady, stepping forward into eternity. Feel that each step you have ever taken is inscribed in the book of life. Whisper the name Ehiyah. I will be, and let it echo in your heart as a promise of endurance. Before sleep, 10:30 p.m. Shema al-Hamidah. Recite the bedtime Shema with the kavvanot of eternal protection. Visualize the angels of Netzach surrounding you as soldiers of light, guarding your soul through the night. Intend that as you sleep, your soul endures, attached to the eternal covenant of Moses and the Torah. Thus concludes Wednesday, the day of Netzach. The march of history is steady, the Torah endures through generations, and the right leg strides forward into eternity. Thursday, the day of Had. Midnight, 12 a.m. Tikkun Chatzit. On Thursday, the Kabbalist rises to lament, but also to give thanks. Had is splendor hidden in exile, like a jewel buried in the dust. As you recite Tikkun Rachel, intend that your tears polish the jewel of the Shekinah. In Tikkun Leah, meditate on the splendor of her garments when she will be revealed in redemption. The Kavana, unify YHVH with Adonai, producing.
Ya'advani.
But on Thursday, focus especially on the acknowledgement, Hada, that all light comes from him. Visualize the letters shining like jewels, refracting colors of glory. Dawn, 4:30 a.m. Mikveh immersion. Immerse with the kavana of humility. Had is the left leg, the act of bowing. As you descend into the waters, visualize yourself bowing before the infinite, surrendering ego. Intend that each immersion clothes the Shekinah in garments of splendor, washed in humility. Shacharit, 5 to 6:30 a.m. Morning prayer. Pasuki di Zimra. Recite the Psalms of Praise with special emphasis on Hodu Lawai, HVH Kitav, Ki Lialim Asdo. Give thanks to YHVH, for he is good. His kindness endures forever. Each Hodu polishes the vessel of Hod. Visualize your words as sparks of thanksgiving rising upward. Shema, and blessings. In the Shema, focus on humility. When saying V'ahavta, you shall love, intend to love God with surrender, without condition. Hod is the place where love is received with gratitude. Amida. In the first blessing, meditate on YHVH in the milu of Hod. Plus 15.
ה פלוס 20, י' 63, 15, ה פלוס 13, ו'.
The name Sag. This corresponds to Bina, the mother of understanding. Intend that Hod reflects the light of Bina into the lower worlds. Visualize orange golden light, the color of Hod, wrapping you in splendor. Morning study, 6:30, 7:30 a.m. Study passages of Torah concerning Aaron and the priesthood, especially in Parashat Tetzaveh. The Ari taught that Hod is the priestly vestments, garments of splendor. As you study, visualize Aaron clothed in the breastplate of 12 stones, each one shining as a spark of Hod. Whisper the name YHVH Seveot, YHVH of hosts, which reveals Hod as the splendor of God's armies of angels. Meal, 7:30 a.m. When eating, meditate on Hod as acknowledgement. Each blessing is thanksgiving and each bite becomes a vessel for splendor. Intend that the sparks within the food rise upward clothed in gratitude. On Thursday, blessings should be recited with extra concentration, for Hod rectifies speech and thanksgiving. Midday, 12:30 p.m., Mincha and charity before Mincha, give charity humbly, without pride. The Ari warn that Hod must be purified from arrogance, for splendor easily turns into vanity. Intend that your giving clothes the Shekinah in garments of glory, not for your honor but for God's. In Mincha, as you recite the Amidah, meditate on Aaron entering the Holy of Holies. Visualize Hod bowing before Netzach, splendor acknowledging endurance, left leg yielding to the right. Intend that your prayer is incense, rising humbly as a sweet savor. Afternoon study, 300 hours 6 p.m. Study Zohar passages on Aaron and the priesthood, especially the section describing the garments of the Kohen Gadol. Meditate on Hod as the shining vestments of the Shekinah. Whisper the verse Hod Veheder Levashta, you are clothed in splendor and majesty. Visualize Shekinah clothed in garments of light, prepared for union. Evening, 6 p.m. Mariv. As night falls, meditate on Hod as the splendor hidden in darkness. In the Shema, intend that your acknowledgement of God shines like a jewel in the night. When reciting Uvishachka Uvikumacha, when you lie down and when you rise, visualize your life as a cycle of bowing and rising, all within God's splendor. Night meditation, 9 p.m. Sit quietly and visualize your left leg glowing with orange golden light. Bow inwardly before the infinite. Whisper the name Madam Anaknulak, we give thanks to you, feeling gratitude flow from your heart. Intend that humility itself is splendor and splendor is the beauty of surrender. Before sleep, 10:30 p.m. Shema al-Hamidah. Recite the bedtime Shema with the kavvanot of surrender. Visualize angels of Hod standing guard, Hodiel and the hosts of thanksgiving, wrapping you in garments of light. Intend that your soul ascends clothed in humility, shining in splendor before the throne. Thus concludes Thursday, the day of Hod, splendor revealed in humility, thanksgiving transforming exile into glory, and Aaron the priest shining with garments of light. Friday, the day of Yesod. Midnight, 12 a.m. Tikkun Chatzit. On Friday at midnight, the Kabbalist rises to repair the covenant of Yesod. In Tikkun Rachel, lament that the Shekinah is exiled and cut off from her source. In Tikkun Leah, meditate on her imminent union, for Shabbat draws near. The Kavana, unify the name Shaddai.
Shaddai.
The guardian of the covenant, with YHVH in the form of
Yadvani.
Visualize Yesod as a shining column of light connecting heaven and earth. Intend that your weeping purifies the covenant, healing blemishes caused by misuse of desire. Dawn, 4:30 a.m. Mikveh immersion. Immerse with the kavana of purification of the Brit. Yesod is the place of sexual holiness, the channel of divine flow. As you descend into the waters, intend that your entire being is renewed like a bridegroom before Shabbat. Visualize the waters as the womb of Shekinah, preparing you to enter union in holiness. Shacharit, 5 to 6:30 a.m. Morning prayer. Kama Pasuki di Zimra. As you recite praises, intend that your words purify the channel of Yesod. In Baruch Shi, Amar, meditate on the light of creation flowing through Yesod into the world. Kama, visualize Yesod as a crystal river, receiving from all the upper Sephirot and pouring into Malkut. Kama, Shema, and blessings. In the Shema, focus on uniting love and desire with holiness. When saying we have to meditate on the covenant of love between God and Israel, intend that every word is a bond of purity that joins Yesod to Shekinah. Kama, Amida. In the first blessing, meditate on YHVH in the milu of Yesod. Plus 15.
ה פלוס 20, י' 63, 15, ה פלוס 13, ו'.
The name Sag. But here, in Yesod, visualize the name Shaddai shining within Sag, for Shaddai is the guardian of Yesod. Intend to seal your prayer with holiness, channeling divine flow into the world. Morning study, 6:30, 7:30 a.m. Study passages concerning Joseph, the tzaddik. Read how he resisted temptation with the wife of Potiphar, preserving the covenant of holiness. Meditate that Joseph is Yesod, the channel of abundance into Egypt, and that every act of guarding the Brit allows divine Shefa, flow, to enter the world. Whisper the name Lai.
חי אל.
Living God, for Yesod is the organ of life, transmitting vitality from the upper worlds into creation. Meal 7:30 a.m. When eating, intend that the food is transformed into seed, into life force. Visualize that your body is the vessel of Yesod, and your blessing purifies the energy of desire. Recite blessings with full concentration, for they are the unifications that transform physical sustenance into holy flow. Midday, 12:30 p.m., Mincha and charity before Mincha. Give charity with the intention that it opens the channel of Yesod. Charity is called tzedakah, and Joseph is the tzaddik, thus, giving aligns you with his quality. In Mincha, visualize the union of Yesod and Malkut beginning to form. As you pray the Amida, intend that all the light of the Sephirot descends into Yesod, awaiting the embrace of the Sabbath bride. Visualize a luminous pillar descending into a garden, where Shekinah awaits her beloved. Afternoon study, 300 hours 6 p.m. Study Zohar passages on the covenant, especially in Parashat Vayeshev and Vayigash, where Joseph is revealed to his brothers. Meditate that Joseph is the hidden tzaddik who sustains the world through his holiness. Whisper the verse Tzaddik Yesod Olam, the righteous one is the foundation of the world. Visualize your soul merging with the tzaddik, becoming a channel of Shefa for creation. Evening, 6 p.m. Preparation for Shabbat. As the sun begins to set, purify your house, prepare food, light candles. All preparations are holy, for they embody Yesod, the act of transmitting abundance into the vessel of Malkut. Meditate that every action, sweeping, cooking, lighting, is the flow of divine light into the world of manifestation. Kabbalat Shabbat, sunset, 7 p.m. Friday evening is the great unification. In Lechadodi, meditate that Yesod, the groom, goes forth to meet Malkut, the bride. Visualize the Shekinah clothed in garments of light, and Yesod shining as a pillar of silver, entering into embrace. In Marav, unify YHVH and Adni in the form.
יעד ואני.
Intending that this union consummates the marriage of the Holy One and his bride. Visualize yourself as part of this embrace, your soul flowing with divine Shefa into the world. Shabbat table, evening meal. As you bless the wine, visualize it as the flow of Yesod into Malkut. The Kiddush sanctifies desire, transforming it into holy delight. As you eat, meditate on Joseph providing grain in Egypt, abundance flowing through the tzaddik. Sing Eshet Chael with the kavvanot that Shekinah is the bride, adorned by Yesod with splendor. Before sleep, 10:30 p.m. Shema al-Hamidah. Recite the bedtime Shema with the kavvanot that the covenant is guarded. Visualize Yesod sealed with holiness, shining like crystal, transmitting only purity into Malkut. Whisper the name Shaddai, sealing your body and soul in divine protection. Intend that your soul ascends as part of the union of Yesod and Shekinah, entering the mystery of the Sabbath embrace. Thus concludes Friday, the day of Yesod, the foundation of the covenant, the channel of divine flow, and the preparation for the union of Shabbat. Saturday Shabbat, the day of Malkut. Friday sunset, welcoming the bride. As the sun sets, all weekday work ceases, for the 6 Sephirot have completed their flow into Yesod. Now Malkut, the bride, ascends. When you recite Lecha Dodi, intend that you are joining the Shekinah as she rises to meet her beloved. Visualize Malkut clothed in radiant garments, adorned with jewels of Had, crowned with Netzach, girded with Tiferet, and entering the arms of Yesod. When you say Boy Kala, come, O bride. Meditate that all the angels of the 6 directions accompany the bride into the palace. Visualize yourself standing among them, ready to escort her with love. Friday night Marav 7 p.m. Shema. When reciting Shema Yisrael, intend to unify YHVH, Tiferet, with Adni, Malkut, in the form. Visualize this union as the consummation of marriage, light descending into vessel, infinity entering time. Amida. In the blessing Ada Kadashta, meditate that Shabbat as the sanctification of Malkut. Intend that Malkut, normally a vessel, now ascends to Bina, the higher mother, crowned in supreme holiness. Visualize her seated on a throne of sapphire, shining as the moon at its fullness. Friday night meal, 8 p.m. Kiddush. When blessing the wine, intend that it is the flow of Yesod into Malkut. The wine is love, passion, and delight, but sanctified. Visualize the chalice as the womb of Shekinah receiving abundance from her beloved. Chala. As you bless the bread, intend that the double loaves are the 2 aspects of manna, upper and lower sustenance. Malkut receives both, feeding all worlds. Meal. As you eat, meditate that every taste is divine shefa flowing into Malkut. Each song at the table is a crown placed on the bride's head. Before concluding, sing Eshet Chael with the kavvanot that Shekinah is the bride, praised for her splendor and holiness. Midnight, 12 a.m. First Great Union. The Ari taught that on Shabbat night, at midnight, a union occurs between Zeir Anpin, Tiferet, and Malkut. If one remains awake, studying Torah or Zohar, his soul ascends with them. Study Zohar passages on the Sabbath, especially Parashat Ve'akol. Meditate on the name YHVH Elohim.
Elohim, Yeho.
Uniting mercy and judgment. Visualize streams of light pouring into Malkut, transforming her into a luminous queen. Shacharit, 7 a.m. Pasuki di Zimra. Intend that all praises are jewels placed on the crown of the Shekinah. Each psalm is another ornament. Shema. In Shema Yisrael, unify YHVH with Adni again. But now intend that this union is eternal, without blemish, unlike weekday unifications which are fragile. Visualize the letters intermingling in flames of gold and silver. Amida. In Yismach Moshe, intend that Moses, the prophet of Netzach, ascends into the joy of Shabbat, beholding the Shekinah face to face. Visualize the bride seated on her throne, surrounded by 70 crowns of light. Shabbat table, second meal, 12 p.m. The Ari taught that the second meal of Shabbat corresponds to Zeir Anpin and Malkut in their expanded joy. Kiddush. Bless the wine with kavvanot that the joy of the beloved fills the bride with delight. Meal. As you eat, meditate that you are feeding Shekinah herself, providing garments and ornaments for her. Intend that all sparks in food rise into her and are sweetened in her radiance. Sing Zemer with deep joy, for the Shekinah rejoices when Israel sings to her. Mincha, 3 p.m., the highest union. At Mincha on Shabbat, the Ari revealed that Malkut ascends to the level of Adik Yamin, the most hidden of the Sephirot. Amida. In Ada Echid Vishimcha Echid, you are one and your name is one. Intend that all dualities dissolve. Malkut unites. With Keter, the supreme crown. Visualize infinite whiteness, the union beyond unions, where Shekinah merges with the infinite. This is the highest moment of Shabbat, the holiest ascent of the bride. Third meal, Suda Shlishit, 5:30 p.m. This meal is the holiest of all, called Rava di Ravin, the will of wills. The Ari taught that at this time, the soul tastes the light of the world to come. Eat little, but with great concentration. Sing slow melodies with longing, especially verses from Psalms that speak of yearning. Meditate on the name Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh.
Asher Ehyeh.
I will be what I will be, for at this time, Shekinah is united with the infinite beyond comprehension. Evening Shabbat ends 7:30 p.m. Maariv and Havdalah. As the stars appear, Shabbat withdraws. In Maariv, recite the Shema with longing, intending to bind yourself to the bride even as she departs. In Havdalah, bless over wine, spices, and flame. Wine, the joy of union descends into weekdays. Spices, to comfort the soul as the extra Shabbat soul departs. Flame, the spark of Shekinah that remains to guide through the week. Visualize the flame as the last kiss of the bride, her light shining until the next Shabbat. Night meditation, 10 p.m. Sit in silence after Shabbat, still glowing with her radiance. Whisper the verse, Vehi erev vehi voker, Yom HaShiviai, and it was evening and it was morning, the seventh day. Visualize the circle of time completing, Shabbat returning to its hidden place, promising to return. Thus concludes Saturday, the day of Malkut, the bride, the queen, the Sabbath, when all worlds unite in splendor, joy, and infinite peace.